Hola queridos de mente, estamos en el Hotel Intercontinental, acá en Providencia, en Santiago, apenas a unos segundos, minutos de la conferencia de prensa de Superfest.
Bueno, bienvenidos y bienvenidas a la conferencia de prensa de Superfest Chile. Estamos tremendamente emocionados por esta conferencia de prensa que estamos realizando. Le damos la más cordial bienvenida a todos los artistas internacionales. Esperemos que disfruten mucho su estadía en Chile. Nos hemos preocupado de hacer un evento de categoría internacional. Van a ver un montaje muy prolijo. Nos vamos a preocupar de cada detalle y queremos que la experiencia no solamente sea para el público, sino que sea para todas las personas que vayan a trabajar el evento como somos todos nosotros. A la prensa agradecerle su presencia. Mañana el evento parte a las 11 de la mañana.
You are the first and the original Flash, and you keep working in the actual series. And we just watched the crossover between Grant Gustin and Ezra Miller. And we want your opinion about that crossover. What do you know about what's going on in the future of the Flash?
Well, first of all, they keep everything very close to the vest, so we don't know much before we film it exactly what we're doing, because if it leaks, you know, then the surprise is ruined. I very much enjoyed being in the Flash part of the crossover. This is the 30th anniversary of the Warner Brothers CBS Flash this year, so I thought bringing that story full circle to a close was an appropriate thing to do, and they did it very respectfully. And the flashback to Tina, Amanda Pays, and me right at the moment of sacrifice, I thought had a real punch, you know, to it. So I was a little tenuous about doing it when they asked me, because I didn't know how exactly, but we talked about it, and I think all the pieces, it's one of those moments when all the pieces fall into place, and I think it just really worked. And now I go on to play one of the three characters I played on that show, Jay Garrick.
Yeah, you were three characters. And the last question, what are your expectations about this Superfest in Chile?
Well, I find that, you know, if you go into these situations with an open heart, amazing things can happen. People share amazingly personal stories with you, and it can be a lot of fun. It can also be very moving. I have sort of a unique perspective, having been with the franchise as long as I have, because a lot of people watched the original show with their parents and are now watching the CW show with their kids. And to be the thread that kind of runs through that is a very good position to be in. I'm very grateful. I'm mindful of my good fortune. That's it.
How is word in the death of Superman? How do you remember? What do you remember?
How was the work?
Sí.
Well, back when I started on Superman, he was not selling very well. People weren't interested in Superman comics.
Amazing.
They kept him going because he was the flagship title, but his numbers were actually cancellation numbers. Nobody was buying Superman comics, so we kind of had the freedom to do whatever we wanted because people weren't paying attention. Nobody, seemed to care. So we were able to concentrate on just doing the best Superman stories that we could do. And slowly that started getting attention. We got Clark engaged to Lois. That was a blip. More readers came on board. We then had Clark reveal himself as Superman to Lois. That was a big jump. And then the next jump was supposed to be the wedding in issue 75. And ABC came along and did a TV show called Lois and Clark. And that kind of put a kink into everything. We had to get together at the last minute and come up with a whole new story because they wanted to put the wedding off to coincide with the wedding on the TV show 2 years down the road. And in the course of that 4-day meeting, it was really just said as a lark, let's just kill him. And our editor was like, okay, we say this at every meeting when we're stuck for an idea. And in this particular meeting, the editor was like, okay guys, then what? And we started thinking about it, and the idea of Doomsday was a separate idea. Dan Jurgens wanted a character that could take on Superman physically. Most of Superman's villains are magical or like Brainiac. He doesn't really have, or at that time, very physical villains. And the idea of killing him was an idea of what would it be like without him. Let's take him away and see how people react. And we did not think the company would let us do it. I mean, he's on peanut butter, he's on Underoos, he's, you know, everywhere. They're not going to get rid of that. And to our surprise, the publishers trusted us because they saw that we were growing the readership and the popularity, and they let us do it. And no one was surprised more than us at the popularity. You know, it was the day it came out. I did appearances with thousands of people in the mall waiting, and you know, everybody in the news, and it was a big event. And it just was kind of odd because no one seemed to be caring about Superman until we took him away. And then all of a sudden, when they thought he was really going away, everybody came out and was, you know, wanted to be a part of it, wanted to, you know, have the comment, oh, you can't do this. You know, and everybody was, oh, you know, you're really not going to kill him. It's like, if you think that this large corporation is going to let this cash cow go away, I don't think so. But we didn't know. We actually discussed getting rid of Clark Kent and doing something different with Superman. And it was months and months of working on the story to, you know, figure out where we wanted to go. But we were given total creative freedom by the company to do what we wanted, and ended up, I think, you know, doing some very good Superman stuff. So it was a lot of fun. I worked on the books for 10 years, which is unheard of in comics today. Most, you know, runs on a book are 6 months. So 10 years on the same book with the same people for the most part. It was a great time, and I can't speak enough about the people that I worked with, and the fact that the company, people that were running the company at the time, took a chance, because now the corporation tends to have their hands in what they want done more, but they let us go and we did some really good stuff.
¿Cómo se enfrentaría Mirachman a lo que está sucediendo actualmente en el país con el movimiento social?
Mirachman tiene que, o sea, salir y va a combatir todo lo que le parezca a él que está fuera de lugar. O sea, Mirachman es un superhéroe que es una persona que, como todos saben, él inicia este camino de superhéroe para ayudar a su hermano, que fue abusado y fue violentado. Los dos fueron abusados y violentados cuando eran niños. Y de alguna forma fue un accidente que a él lo lleva a ser superhéroe para de alguna forma ayudar a su hermano. Y se da cuenta que con esta habilidad puede ayudar al más débil. Yo creo que si Mirachman sale a la calle ahora, claro, yo creo que en las dos situaciones que está pasando en el país ahora, porque hay gente que dice no, que la policía no está haciendo su trabajo, están abusando. Por otro lado tenemos gente que está rompiendo y destrozando y haciendo vandalismo. Entonces yo creo que Mirachman tendría que estar como entre medio y viendo las situaciones y tratando de aportar con sus puños. Sabemos que no tiene superpoderes, sabemos que, o sea, no sé, tendría que armarse como un nuevo traje. Ahí vamos a analizar bien esa postura de Mirachman, cómo va a salir a las calles a pelear con todo esto, con todo lo que está pasando, digamos. La verdad que es una buena pregunta. De todas maneras tendría que por lo menos una forma de transportarse o algo con un poco más de tecnología, más presupuesto. Yo creo que lo que podría hacer es, claro, hacer una colecta, una campaña para que lo apoyen, para que se compre por lo menos algo más. Claro, Mirachmantón.
O que vuelva a pseudo Roddy.
O claro, o pedirle la moto, claro. No, pero se le tiene que, todavía no le ha vuelto la moto, así que tengo eso pendiente.
How things about the Scorsese words about the superhero movies, like a fairy tale park, and don't make a real cinema.
Scorsese said superhero films aren't real cinema. It's like a part.
The question is for both John Wesley and Finn. Thank you.
I just watched The Irishman. I thought it was great. I just finished it last night. It took me a long time. I got got really nothing to say about that. I think people are into what they're into. If you want to watch a superhero movie, watch it. If you want to watch The Irishman, watch it. Like, who cares? It's art, it's storytelling. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's just a form of telling a story. So,
¿Qué importa si la gente quiere ver una película de acción o no? Es una forma de contar una historia, son formas, son estilos, no, realmente, ¿qué importa si la gente quiere ver?
I'm certainly not going to correct Mr. Scorsese, you know. But I do believe, having been sort of rotating in and out of the superhero world, through NYPD Blue, through The Closer, through independent film, and that the storytelling at its best in superhero films is very good and meaningful to its audience. I mean, it hits people where they live, and at its best, I think, you know, there's been a criticism about superhero movies that it reinforces this thought that you have to wait for a hero outside of yourself to come in and save the day. But I think that if there's value in it, and I think it's why certain people relate to certain superheroes and not others, it's to find those heroic elements within yourself and realize that you have to be the heroes in your communities, because ain't nobody else coming to save anybody. You know what I mean? And as long as you're identifying with superheroic qualities that we all have our vein of gold, right? We all have things that we do better than anyone and more authentically than anyone else. And I think when you hook into it on that level, it's meaningful. Is it a ride at the amusement park? Absolutely. You know, I wouldn't question that. But getting into this is real art, that's not real art, I mean, we could have that discussion for the next 3 days and not agree.
Hola, terminó la conferencia, todavía está Red Breeding hablando, se acaba de ir Yost, se acaban de ir todos, preguntas súper largas para todo el público, medios que quieren saber sobre todos los artistas, desde player art a gráficos. Va a estar increíble este fin de semana, nos tienen que acompañar y se lo vamos a seguir mostrando acá.